right, welcome everybody to the live stream. Today we're going to be taking a look at cryptocurrencies live as we see them going down. You see them going down pretty big. We're going to be taking a look at where cryptos are headed, what's going on, why are they going down? Surely the question. We have had a pretty strong downtrend today. A lot of red, erasing a lot of gains that we have been experiencing over this past weekend. I'm not very confident that we are going to see a bunch more crashes coming. I am confident that cryptos have seen somewhat of a bottom, that we may have reached the bottom. We're going to be taking a look at everything. But before we get into that, welcome everybody. Make sure you guys smash up the like button. Welcome Stacks. Welcome Merely, Tom, Gringo, Crypto Alien, Crypto Coffee, Tattoo, GG, Raider, Matt. Welcome Goat. Welcome everybody here. Where are you guys all from? What countries, what states, where are you guys from? So very interesting to see that this afternoon cryptos have taken a nice dip. They've been dipping all day, and that's based off of what the Fed has been talking about. There's just more Fed information coming out, and that's kind of pushing the market down a little bit. But what's very interesting is we saw a recovery. We're seeing a recovery. The NASDAQ is going up. We are seeing the Dow Jones go up. The S&P 500 has been going up. We kind of bottomed out about 12 o'clock, so it's about 3 hours. Cryptos. Stocks have been going up the past 3 hours, but we took a pretty heavy dip today. But we are beginning to recover, so that is a good thing for sure. But what's very interesting is to notice that Bitcoin and Ethereum are actually going down again, while stocks are going up. So there must be some crypto-related news that is preventing, cryptos from recovering. Let me see what this is. Very interesting. Okay, so cryptos again are continuing to go down, but we'll probably be getting a bounce here soon. This is a lot of strong bearish volatility that's pushing us down, so it's very interesting to see. But I do think that we are going to get somewhat of a bounce here soon, especially with the indices going up. We do have the dollar coming up a little bit. That's probably what it is. And the dollar did start going up the last few minutes on what the Fed had spoke about. So let's see if we can pull up some news here. See if I can pull this up. Refresh the page here. All right, most of the US has been seeing just slight or modest economic growth over the past 2 months, according to Fed's Beige Book. The report said most districts showed price increases rising at strong and robust pace. The Fed is beginning its quantitative tightening program, which technically started Wednesday. So some of what the article is talking about is some economic policy, interest rates raising, things like this. And there was a minutes given out today where the Fed did speak. And economic policy is what surely guides the entire crypto market. So if you want to understand what's happening to the crypto market, if it's going to go up or down, if you want to understand where the stock market is going, you need to understand the economic policy and what the Fed is trying to do. And since they are trying to raise interest rates to combat inflation, when you raise interest rates, it kills the market. It kills the stock market, and cryptos follow the stock market, so cryptos are killed as well. But the markets are digesting all of this information, and what really had caused the crash of cryptos, as we had seen, this past month, the month of May was very bearish, and the month of May is generally historically very bearish, period. So what we saw in the month of May, we saw stocks crash, cryptos crash. And that happened because the Fed is raising interest rates. That's the primary reason why all of that has happened and is happening, and probably going to continue to happen for a little bit more. What needs to happen is the markets need to digest the information. The markets need to digest interest rates being raised. They need to digest a lot of bearish and hawkish information coming from the Fed. And that can take a couple of months for the markets and for people and investors, Wall Street, to fully digest that information, to be okay with it. And things need to kind of rebuild around that. So the fear and panic based on all of that is what's pushing things down. It is very interesting to see cryptos go down right now, as we are still seeing a bounce in the major indices. So we're going to take a look. Let's see if there's any crypto news out there. So we're not honestly seeing any type of bearish news out there. It may have just been a reaction again to the Fed and what they recently just spoke about. So we are seeing a little bit of a pullback in the stock market, the NASDAQ, and we're going to see that trickle down most likely in the crypto market. But what we want to do is, obviously, if we zoom in, we can see the cryptos are going down. We want to take a look at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been holding up quite strong despite a lot of the volatility we have been experiencing. And I mean, look at this. Bitcoin took a pretty big dip here just the past couple of days, from bottom to the top, about an 8% dip. We're seeing Ethereum in that same range, same period of time, take about a 10% dip. If we take a look from the top to the bottom, a 10% dip, which is quite substantial. And honestly, a lot of that is profit taking, still a lot of market manipulation. And Bitcoin is still quite bullish. Bitcoin is still quite good right now. Bitcoin has still had recovered quite a bit. And Bitcoin, remember, cryptos were trading inside of this small little range right here, going up and down and up and down. And we finally broke out of it this past weekend. We finally broke out of it, and that is a very good sign. But are cryptos going to continue to come back down? Are we going to continue to crash? Are we going to see some lower lows? Or is Bitcoin going to see just this is a big pullback and going to continue to go up? We're going to be monitoring this definitely with some eyes, to be paying attention to see what is going to be the next scenario. So depending on what Bitcoin does, I mean, Bitcoin is still holding up above $30,000. That is a key psychological level for Bitcoin to hold above $30,000. And that tends to be a major support level. Bitcoin does tend to bounce off the $30,000 level of support. But what's very good to see is that Bitcoin was able to finally break outside of this bearish range here for the first time for about a month. We had not seen, since basically the 10th of May, Bitcoin had not broken outside of this bearish range. And this is some good sign. It's a good sign. It's a good sign of hope that cryptos might actually begin to recover. As right now, we can probably zoom in and start to see a little bit of a bounce. So we're having a nice little bounce here. But that was a pretty big drop. You know, cryptos, they did bottom out here just about, let's see, about an hour ago, hour and change. We were recovering a little bit, and then just some type of FUD out there just crushed us and pushed everything down very quickly. And we were going to see a little bit of a rally, but what the Fed said was quite hawkish and bearish. And we do see those emotional overreactions in the market that happen very quickly. So that's why we do see some of these quick moves. And we are looking at the 1 minute time frame. So that's why you see, like, in a short period of time, a lot of like volatility and movement. If you like look at the 30-minute time frame, it's not going to look as crazy. But you know, Ethereum was looking quite bullish. Cryptos were kind of like trading sideways. They're holding up after a big pump, and that's generally a bearish sign. Sorry, a bullish sign that there's going to be some bullish continuation after a consolidation. So we ended up getting a pullback, which is just a lot of market manipulation. There's a lot of fear out there still. There's a lot of market manipulation, and that is keeping cryptos down. That is preventing cryptos from recovering strong and fast, and that's also preventing the stock market. But the stock market has been recovering. We have been bouncing up. This is the 30-minute time frame. This was the low. The S&P 500, which Bitcoin follows to about 70% of the time, Bitcoin follows the S&P 500, and we have recovered quite a bit. We have broken out of a lot of bearish ranges down here, and we have some resistance levels that we're going to have to face. But I'm very confident that, yeah, we might see another pullback, something like this, but I do feel confident that the stock market potentially has bottomed out, that Bitcoin and cryptos have bottomed out. It's going to take a lot, to be honest with you. It's going to take a lot to bring Bitcoin back all the way down to that low that we saw. It's going to take a lot. You know, it's only 11% move, but Bitcoin, despite all the FUD and volatility, was being held up in this range between, let's just say, $28,000 and $30,000. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of strength out there, whales, bulls, and bears that are keeping Bitcoin from going under that level for the most part. So we will have to see. But I mean, there's always a bearish case scenario. Make sure you guys please give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. But there's always the bearish case scenario where, you know, some type of FUD or news can come out there and crash cryptos and bring the stock market down again. But we have pretty much seen a lot of like the worst of what is to come and most likely going to come and happen. A lot of that has already happened, and we know, at least we know what is going to happen as far as monetary policy is concerned. And we do know that, you know, the interest rates are going to be raised in 2 sessions by 50 basis points, meaning 0.5%. So interest rates are going to be raised a whole 1%. And after all of that, you know, they're not going to be raising interest rates anymore for the most part. They said they're only going to raise interest rates twice. Instead of raising it small bits one by one, they're just going to do 2 sessions where they're going to raise it. And that's good because, yeah, things might be bearish for a month or two. And not as exciting as things could be. But understanding that in a couple of months, the interest rates being raised is going to be done and we're going to move forward. And we're probably going to see a decrease in decline in inflation. And that's the whole purpose of raising interest rates. But since the stock market has bounced up a little bit, you know, historically, what we have seen is when there are bearish months in the month of May, when we see May be very bearish, when we see a lot of crashing, you know, it's earnings seasons. So that's when a lot of stocks do crash, especially if we're in like a bearish economy. The month of May is a very bearish time period for certain assets, cryptos, and stocks. And whenever there is a bearish month of May, there's generally followed by it a bullish rally in the summer, where there are summer rallies that can last several months. And that happened just a year ago. So I'll show you what I mean by that exactly. So 1 year ago, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna show you exactly what happened. Is let's see. All right, April, May. Okay, guys, we're just gonna take now let's go to Bitcoin. This is May 22. We're gonna go to 21. Okay, so guys, here we have it. So this is May right here. We're looking at the 4-hour time frame. This was May, a year ago. And look, Bitcoin crashed. It was $30,000, same exact level where we are at right now, where we are a year ago. So look, cryptos and Bitcoin, they were trading in this same exact area. Okay, same exact area. And Bitcoin ended up having several rallies and crashes in the midst of it. So, so here we have it, May. So the end of May, the beginning of June ended up being quite bullish. And look, we had a rally up to like 39, and then look, we crashed all the way back down to 30,000, and then boom, we went up to 40,000, and then boom, back to $28,000. And people were like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's going to zero, cryptos are going to zero. And then look, we were consolidating and just like not even moving out of this range. And then boom, we bounced off again, about $29,000. And look what happened. After there, we bottomed out, we went immediately up. Look at how strong this uptrend is, ladies and gentlemen. We went immediately up to $52,000. And then look, after 52,000, we crashed down a little bit to 39,000. People are like, oh my gosh, it's a bear market. Boom. Then Bitcoin went all the way to $69,000. So that's the same thing. The same thing that's happened last year. We were in a correction. Things were trading sideways. They were crashing. They were crashing all the way from the beginning of May, and it stopped crashing and having all that volatility in July. So it was a couple months. This correction was a couple months, but look, even in the midst of it, Bitcoin had bounced several times. It would go between $30,000, $28,000, $29,000, all the way to $40,000 several times. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies right now are tremendously oversold. They're tremendously oversold. And I mean, look at this. This is very similar to what we were seeing. We were seeing these dips and crashes, and like we were seeing like this type of movement here. So I do think that we are going to get a pretty big bounce here soon within the next coming days. And even though we have seen a little bit of red today in the stock market and cryptos, it doesn't mean that we're going to continue to be red. You know, cryptos and stocks have really, for the past like 5 days or so plus, gone up. We've seen a lot of substantial big movement, and whenever there is a lot of substantial movement, there is always pullbacks, there's always corrections, because you know they just can't go up forever. So it's healthy to see all of that happening. Now if you guys want to get access to my buy and sell alerts for cryptocurrencies, you want to speak to me on the phone, if you want to learn technical analysis, go ahead and join the Patreon right there, where we can go over your current portfolio. I put out buy and sell alerts that are profitable about every week, and you can even copy all of my exact trades. In addition to that, I have a course right now. It has a money back guarantee. Highly recommend downloading it, watching it. It's going to teach you all of my investment and trading strategies. It's awesome. And if you want a great platform to buy and sell cryptocurrencies, a good trading platform, the best one out there is Bybit. Use my link below, and you can qualify and claim your over $4,000 bonus. And that is specific just to my audience alone in that specific link. I highly recommend getting your free money by depositing crypto in there, and you can just trade with it for free. So hopefully cryptos do continue to bounce up. It's very likely. You know, this was a pretty big pullback today, guys. This was a pretty big pullback. We should get a bounce from this, a nice recovery bounce for sure. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, please. Let's take a look. If you guys have any charts you want me to look at. So looking at the dollar index is actually going down. So if we take a look at the 1 hour time frame on the dollar, like this thing has fallen down, and it's quite bearish, to be honest. But we need to see if there's going to be some bullish continuation in here, or if it's going to get rejected off of these resistance and support levels, which is more likely. But with economic policy as the way it currently is, with the raising interest rates, that definitely pushes up the dollar, and we are seeing that. But this might be a temporary thing for the dollar, so we'll have to keep a close eye. Taking a look at the Nasdaq, go to the 1 minute time frame. The Nasdaq is still bouncing up, it's still going up ever since we crashed today. We are seeing the Dow Jones continuing to go up. We are seeing the S&P. So the S&P is at 411 right now. The SPY is at 412.28. Bitcoin is $30,296. Looking bullish here, looking like we're probably going to get a bounce. Ethereum is $1,826. We are approaching a resistance level here. And this looks like it might be a decent move to continue to go up, but we'll have to see. Is Doge won June 28th? I'm not sure. You would probably know more about it than me. But if that does happen, the Doge 1 launch, that's very exciting. It probably would be very good. Good for Dogecoin for sure. So let's take a look at some other cryptocurrencies. We have Shiba Inu. Let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame. Shiba Inu took a pretty heavy dip today as well, along with some other altcoins. Let's see. Oh wow. So Shiba took a 11% dip. Cardano took a pretty heavy dip here, 20% down. Solana, let's see where Solana's at. Took about a 15% dip. That's pretty wild. Let's see. Solana's actually been doing quite well during this crash, and it did recover 60% from the bottom to the top. Altcoins are a bit bearish right now. We're going to take a look at the altcoin index here soon. There we go. So the altcoin index. So yeah, altcoins did see a pretty decent dip. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. It's a very important chart to see. Okay, so the Bitcoin dominance is going up. It's going up pretty big. And when the Bitcoin dominance is going up, that means altcoins are definitely losing strength against Bitcoin. And that altcoins are not going to perform that well. But when Bitcoin does bounce up, when the stock market bounces up, we do see these crazy rips by Bitcoin, by these altcoins, excuse me. So we are excited about that. We're just going to have to continue to monitor the charts and see what happens. But this week has been pretty volatile. Notice like the weekends are actually quite bullish. And in the weekdays with the stock market, the market is just very volatile. The last couple weekends, cryptos just go up. They just go up and they don't really take a dip. They don't really crash much at all. And that's nice to see for sure. Thoughts on the Shiba Inu founder stepping down? I'm not sure about that. I'm sure there's like politics and everything involved in it. Whenever somebody steps down, there's probably like some political thing inside the company. Maybe he wants to do his own thing and people aren't in agreement. We can take a look at that actually. So Shiba Inu founder deletes social media post, steps down from community. I am just some guy of no consequence tapping at a keyboard, and I am replaceable. I am Ryoshi. So his identity has remained unknown since the launch in August 2020. It seems like he just wants to walk away. It's a lot of stress, dealing with launching a cryptocurrency, and there's a lot of stress that comes behind it, to be honest with you. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him. What are your guys' favorite cryptocurrencies in the chat? Open up a long position here. See if we can get some profits. Scalping the bottom is a strategy that I like to implement when trading. Not sure if it'll follow through, but we'll see. Getting back into crypto. Notice if you take a look at Bitcoin compared to Ethereum, how much more bearish Ethereum is. Usually Ethereum gains so much more on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the ETH BTC. Yeah, this thing is bearish as heck. So this is Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, and we can see it's very bearish, honestly. That Bitcoin far outperforms Ethereum, and it's been doing so since about the 30th of May. So it's been a pretty interesting correlation the last couple of days from Ethereum to Bitcoin. If we just inverse the chart, we can see how bullish it is. So by inverting the chart, we see Bitcoin against Ethereum. back into the 1 minute time frame. DXY is going down a bit. We are seeing the NASDAQ continue to go up. This is a good sign for cryptos. We'll probably see a Bitcoin correlation here, crypto correlation. The Dow Jones is going up, and we have the S&P 500 going up right now. So that is a good sign. Bitcoin should here follow if the DXY does go down, and the US dollar against the Japanese yen should fall as well. This thing has been quite bullish. It's a facet of the DXY, which does measure a composite of the US dollar. And when we see some of these US dollar pairs going up against other currencies, it's generally a bad sign, to be honest with you. A bearish sign, really. It's somewhat of a bearish sign for sure. I opened a Ethereum position. I went long in Ethereum. Paul Huerta, thank you for the super chat. What do you think of Waves? Take a look at the chart. Waves actually is a very bullish crypto. Let's see. I already even have the chart up here. Where the heck is my Waves chart? Waves. Wow. Waves is up 6%. This is really good. This is a very bullish chart. This thing is very bullish. It did fall down today. Oh, wow. It fell down today 21%, and it bounced up about 5%. This thing is doing pretty good. Past couple of days, it's been holding up inside this range. It looks like it's going to move forward. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Polygon, Matic, and Dogecoin. Polygon, wow, this thing actually looks quite bullish. Oh my goodness. So Polygon has gone up 89% since the crash. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. All right, Dogecoin. So Dogecoin is 8 cents. And since the correction, since the crash, we have seen about a 29% move to the upside. So not too bad. Dogecoin is just quite bearish. It's bearish, but I believe it is setting up for a recovery, just like most coins. So most coins are setting up for that recovery, and cryptos are just kind of trading sideways right now ever since the crash today. Usually, like when you see cryptos just begin to trade sideways and just kind of hold a position after a lot of volatility, you wait for the next market session to open up. So around the world, you have other countries that begin to open up, and when they begin to open up, their markets begin to open up. It does affect. They kind of like carry on the. They begin to start a new play. So, after a really big correction today, guys. I am expecting a bounce. I do expect somewhat of a recovery. We could, trade sideways for a little bit and then maybe start to head up slowly. I don't know. But after a really big crash and correction, I am expecting, as we normally see, somewhat of a bounce. So this evening could be a recovery evening. It might not. It might actually end up being a bearish evening. We could continue to go down. But from what I have seen after a 10% move, and what we have been seeing for quite some time, is there usually always is followed by some type of bounce. I mean, we'll just take a look at Bitcoin, for example. Like anytime there's been a pullback, we always get a pump up. We always get a pump up every single pullback. So this was the biggest pullback we've seen since we have crashed down here for quite some time. And that's going to most likely be followed up by some type of bullish move. Would definitely not surprise me. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? So if you guys want to learn technical analysis, make sure you check out that course. I highly recommend it. It's going to teach you all of my investment and trading secrets in cryptocurrency. It will definitely put you ahead of the game for sure. But make sure you guys stay tuned tonight. I'm going to be releasing a video about 7 o'clock. Hi from Nigeria, Kenneth. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to be releasing a video tonight talking about the current market, what has happened today. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that one. And I appreciate all the love and support. Make sure you join the Patreon if you want to get access to this profitable trade alerts every week. And you'll be able to stay tuned with me there. And make sure you guys claim your $4,000 Bybit bonus. I have posted the link in the chat. So scroll up, you'll see all the links that I posted. And that's going to be it for today's video. You can also check out my video description. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I will see you all later. Thank you so much for coming.